Hi there, creative friends, and welcome to my class for Winter NSD 2025. Today I'm going to show you how to create your own waterfall pull-out album from scratch. The cover as well as the inside mechanism. Let's see. The album and the inside pages will be step by step, but I fast forward over the decorating part because that you can do to your own taste. All right, let's get going. To create the album, we need a front and a back cover, a spine, and I cut it from a 2mm cardboard, but you can use something different if you don't have that. It's just something nice and sturdy. These are the dimensions. I will also give it to you in the notes. And then obviously we need the inner side as well, which is 6 pages. I cut 6 pages, or 5.5 by 5.5 inches, and the mechanism are these 3 pieces with the dimensions. You can also have a look and see. We'll start putting the mechanism together, and for that we need our scoreboard and a bone folder. We can start from the left hand side. Let me just put this there. And we are going to score from the left hand side a 1/2 inch 6 times, because we've got 6 pages. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then what we are going to do is we are going to fold over where we've scored and burnish it well. First start with the first one, then the second one. And then the third one. This craft cardstock is quite sturdy, which is nice because you want the mechanism to be quite sturdy, because otherwise it doesn't work so well. Okay. I think there's one left, yes. Okay. All right, so let's see. Yeah. All right. So the next step is to adhere the inner pages. So we're going to start with the first one, and what is important is to keep the pages sort of flush with the top and the bottom. If they go a little bit skew, it's not too serious on this side, but you want them to be as in line with the top and the bottom part as possible, or else your album is going to be a little bit wonky. I think for adhering the pages, it's a good idea to use some red double-sided tape. I just want to see if I don't have a thinner one. There it is. Okay, let's put some red tape down. Okay, and I think the easiest is to put it on the mechanism and not the inner pages. And I put it close to the fold line. Where's my scissors? Okay. Oops. Yeah. So let's see. So I do it like this. Okay, 1 down, 5 to go. Oops, looks a little bit skew. Have to manipulate it so that it doesn't go too skew. Okay, here we go. After I finished my waterfall pages, I decided that I'm not going to put it on a craft cardstock backing. So I've cut the back part of it from pattern paper as well as the band that the pages are going to slide in behind in. After I've completed this, after I've completed my waterfall pages and the mechanism, I changed my mind and I cut the back part of it from pattern paper as well as the band where the mechanism is going to sort of pull through. So yeah, this part is also 6 inches by 9.5, and the band is about 1.5, not about, it's definitely 1.5 by 8, and I need to score the band. On the right hand side I scored it at 1 inch, so it's on 7, and on the left hand side I didn't do a full inch. I sort of scored it just before the inch to give it a little bit of space when the mechanism slides through. Otherwise it is too tight and it doesn't slide through nicely. So I just use this sort of the same so that it doesn't, there's no contrast really. And you can adhere this with wet glue, which I'm going to do, and I think it is a good idea to just measure it, say 1.25 inches from the side. I can just as well do it on here. So I would say about there. For this part you can use wet glue, or if you prefer you can still use your tapes. There's not a lot of stress on this part, so I think wet glue will be okay. Just make sure that it's in the right spot. There we go. Okay, now you can see that's the 6 pages and the mechanism is going to slide through there. So the whole idea is for the last page, in other words, this page number 6, will be adhered to this band. And then once that is adhered to the band, when you pull it, it will slide out. But before we do that, I think I would like to just cover the pages. So you can put that aside, and I think we can start decorating our pages. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a background down first, and then once that is done, then we can start with the individual pages. So let's see what we have for this page. I'm using 49 and Market paper pack that I've had for a while. It is sort of very nice soft blue colors. It's called Serenity. Really beautiful. Let me just show you. I've taken a little piece out here already for another project that I did. But yeah, it's Vintage Artistry Serenity. This is the paper pack I'm using. I've been saving it for a special project, and I think this qualifies as a special project. So let's see what we can use as the background. All right, let's put the cover together. This is the front and the back and the spine, and I'm going to use some bookbinding tape. If you don't have any bookbinding tape, I think something like a washi tape or some other kind of... Okay, let's put the cover together. I've got the front and back pages and the spine, and I think I'm going to use a little bit of bookbinding tape to adhere the spine to the cover pages, and I want it to go from the back to the front, so I'm going to cut it a little bit longer than the more or less 12 inches that you're going to need, so that it sort of overlaps on the inside. Let's just put this down first. Okay, and then the pages, it is a little bit tricky to get them nice and straight, and the gap here is more or less the width of the thickness of the board that you've used. So I've got a little bit of a spacer here just to make sure that it's more or less the same width. Looks like it. Okay, and then you do the same on the other side. All right, so just make sure this is nice and straight. And this is more or less the width. Okay, cool. Okay, and then I just bring it over to the inside as well, and I can probably cut a little piece off. Just make sure that it will bend. There we go. Okay, great. So there's the cover of our album, and yeah, we can leave it like this, or I even have this beautiful washi tape, so maybe I must cover the white with the washi tape. Let's see, 13 inches. So again, just let's see. I just love the colors of this collection. It is just so beautiful. It might not be exactly the same width, but we're going to cover the covers anyway, so let's just do it like this. Okay, and then to the inside. There we go. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to look through the paper that I've got and see, you know, what I'll use for the covers, and then also cut pieces of pattern paper to do the inside pages. Some nice ribbon that I think can go with this album. It's nice and wide. I like the color. So let's see. I can always trim it down a little later. Ooh. I've covered all the inner pages of the waterfall album off camera with some pattern paper, and here's the dimensions for you. So the front of the pages is 5.25 by 5 by 2.5 inches, and the back, in other words, the back of the page is 5.25 inches by 4.75. It's a little bit smaller. I've also sanded all the edges, as you can see, but if you prefer chalking, then you're most welcome to chalk your pages. The cover, front and backs are also done. I've done the same thing with them. I sanded them a little bit, and I've added a ribbon to fasten the album to sort of finish it off a little bit. So now I'm ready to decorate and embellish and add my photographs. So let's see what we're going to do. I've got some embellishments from the same collection, some rub-ons and cut out. So let's see what we can do to decorate our album. Now, I think I'm about done with all the decorating. I did find some small flowers, and you know I love small flowers, so maybe we can find space for some small flowers. Let's see, okay, just one or two, maybe little ones. I like the little ones like this. So let's put one on the outside, one or two or so. See. Hope you enjoyed the project. Please share your album in the designated file on Facebook, and you might win a wonderful mystery prize of the value of R1,000 by the end of Winter NSD 2025. See you soon.